What's up, everybody? Chris Fluke here, Chris Fluke Podcast, episode number 165. Today we're going to be talking about the topic of bullying, right? And we're going to be taking a counterintuitive approach at this. We're going to be taking a look at it from a different angles. Because I always think back, what if the way we're doing things right now is wrong, right? When you go into a situation, my mind is, you want to read as much as you can about the topic, all right? And then you want to look at it from both ends of the spectrum. You want to understand why it's occurring, on this side, and then you also want to look at it from the bully side, right? You want to try to understand where that person's coming from. You want to look at it from the school side, the parent side, all of this, right? You want to look at it from everybody's angle. You want to try to understand what they're going through, and then you're going to come up with a solution. I am trying to come up with a solution that is going to better suit our children to become stronger in the face of bullies, to be resilient in the face of bullies, and to overcome all those negative feelings that they get when somebody's not being kind to them. I think back to a few decades ago, man. I was talking to somebody in the gym, somebody I grew up with, and we were discussing how some people were just downright mean, man. People used to make fun of me for having big ears, buck teeth, whatever it may be, right? Call me names like ear boy, things of that nature, right? And that's just part of it. You cannot eliminate negative verbalization. It's going to be a part of social life from the moment you start in a social setting to the moment you're an adult, right? It still happens. I'm in my 30s now. And there's still people out there talking trash. I even do it sometimes, and it's not nice and it's not kind, all right? And I know better, but yet I still find myself doing that. Why? We'll get to that. But now, like I said, we cannot guarantee, we cannot tell children that their school that they're entitled to a bully-free zone when they're at school. Schools aren't equipped to have a bully-free zone. They're just not. There's so much socialization going on in the school, on the playground, at the sports practice, text messages, social media, right? The school could only do so much. Teachers are there to teach, all right? They're not there to be law enforcement officers and be on top of everything like there's some sort of communist, like the Gestapo or something like that, right? They're not that, all right? They're there to educate the kids, right? So that's one side of it, In addition to, the school situation, Israel Kalman is a guy that's been studying this for a few decades, 20 to 30 years, and his research found that physical violence comes almost always after the school is notified. So let's say you get a kid that's getting picked on, right, on the bus, getting called nasty names, right? That kid has two choices, or he has more than two choices. He's either going to fight back, all right, he's going to be quiet, or he's going to notify, say, his parents or the school. The parents might notify the other kid's parents. The bully's parents might not want to hear it, and they might not believe you. There's going to be no solution there because that parent won't do anything. There's a good chance that that kid is acting out in a way because of the way that his home life is. There's that old saying, hurt people. I believe that to be true, and I think some kids are hurting, right? To the point that, a recent article here in the newspaper said 1 out of 10 middle school and high school students attempted suicide. Over 40% are depressed. These are crazy numbers. I already talked about the emergency room physician that told me flat out our emergency rooms are filled with suicidal teens, right? There's problems, man. And those hurt kids are going to hurt kids, or they're going to hurt themselves. That's a problem. We need to look at it from that angle, right? We need to address that situation. Number 2, parents might not be able to do it. The school might not be equipped to do it, right? So that's taking that out of the equation, right? We cannot get rid of these negative interactions. Kids are going to be mean. Kids are going to be cruel, right? So what do? How do we handle it? This anti-bullying campaign needs to be more about creating strong individuals, resilient individuals that are in control of their emotions. That's where I think our energy should lie. If it's not on that, if it's on the policing method, if it's on the support groups, if it's on the let's talk about it stuff, right? A recent research by that Israel Kalman again said there was a 12% reduction in bullying in Pennsylvania schools. And by bullying, they mean kids getting bullied 2 or more times per month. 12%, it's positive, right? But that's an 88% fail rate. Maybe there's a better approach than that. Maybe we could find a solution that's at 15% or 20%, right? That would be better, and that would be moving in the right direction. What I'm proposing here is that we cannot allow our kids to become victims. Just because somebody says something mean to you, I'm talking about the verbal stuff, I'm not talking about physical altercations. If a kid is mean to you, you have control over your emotions. I think back to those sibling interactions that I see in the gym and even growing up. I had a brother, man, and if my brother found a button to push on me and I let him know it bothered me, he was going to go back to that button over and over again because that's what brothers do. That's what siblings do. That's what bullies do to people. Once they find a weakness in somebody, they're going to keep going after it. So what do? You as an individual, you can't show your hand. Your blood might be boiling on the inside, but man, if you let that bully know that it's affecting you, they're going to keep coming after it. You cannot be the victim. You cannot let yourself become a victim. We need to figure out a way to reverse some of that mental health issues that we're seeing in our kids, to let them become strong-minded, strong-willed individuals. Marcus Aurelius once said, you don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. Life is going to be throwing very tough social challenges at you. It always will. There's no way around it. We have to do a better job preparing our kids for these tough situations. Staying calm, that's in your control. When your kid's at a young age and they get worked up, let's work on some self-regulation methods here. There's all kinds of different breathing tools that my daughter's preschool does, and I love this school for it. They have different tricks. They're gonna breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, they're doing stuff with their hands. They're making circles on their palms. They're doing something called rainbow breaths where their arms are making some sort of crazy pattern like a rainbow while they're taking their deep breaths. They're trying to calm the body down. This language that they're using with these young kids is gonna last throughout the rest of their life. You know, we could say to them, calm your body down when they're in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and they'll know because this preschool is kind of implanting that in them. And I think us as parents can use that kind of terminology. When kids get worked up when they're young, let's try to bring them back. Let's try to take a breath. Let's try to calm the system down. And you know what? It might take you 8 minutes the first time, but the next time you try it, it might take 7.5. And the next time you try it, it might take 6 minutes. And then the next time, 4 minutes. And eventually, when a kid says something nasty to you, you're gonna be able to put this normal face on and you're not going to show a change at all. You're going to be able to stay calm in the face of chaos, and you're going to be better for it. We need to be able to diffuse hostility, and we need to be able to diffuse hostility on your own. So parents, it's a tough task. If your kid's facing tough times, let's try to build some resiliency in them. Let's not try to promote vulnerability. Let's not try to promote helplessness. Let's not try to promote a victim mindset. Let's not try to blame the other side because we cannot control what that other side is doing. We cannot control what the school's doing. We could only control what we're doing. We could only control our emotions and our reaction to this thing, all right? Like I mentioned, the anti-bullying campaign of the past couple years or decades is only operating at about a 12% success rate. That is not that great. I think we look at this problem from another way, from another angle. Try to hit it from the rear, so to speak. Try to flank it. Hit it from a different side, right? And if we could do that, if we could create some kids with tough wills, strong-minded, resilient, all that stuff, yeah, it sucks. It sucks getting picked on. And it makes me mad to hear some of the evil things that kids are doing to other kids. But whatever's going on in the schools doesn't seem to be doing it. So maybe it's on us as parents, teachers, coaches, educators, to focus on building strong-willed individuals, strong-minded individuals that are in control of their own emotions and that they could diffuse hostility by their own actions. That's the episode. All right, I hope you guys like this one. All right, just remember, all these episodes are thought experiments. I would love to hear some feedback on this stuff. You know, I'm brainstorming. I'm trying to figure out what's going on because there's so many families that come in here that are affected by kids that aren't nice, all right? And it upsets me, man. Kids are living in a bubble because they're scared to go outside of that bubble because of unkindness. And that upsets me. This podcast is available on YouTube, Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify. I got a website, chrisfluck.net. Go there. Subscribe to my newsletter every Sunday. I hit you with just the weekly word is what I call it. And it's usually 5 bullet points. It's usually 5 topics that I touch on. Things about books I'm reading, what I've been thinking about, a fitness tip. If you're a coach, a parent, you want active children, there's usually a topic like that in there. Or just some other randomness, things I've been watching, things I've been doing, all that stuff, all right? All right, now, like the podcast, subscribe to it, leave a comment, leave a review, do whatever we got to do, man. I'm trying to get this in front of more people, slowly but surely, trying to build this, trying to grow this organically, man. Peace, everybody.